So I'm making this video series here because I've just always had a lot of ideas floating around in my head about how to do things or how to improve things, new approaches, different ways to look at all kinds of different problems that face humanity. Now, a lot of my ideas don't have anything to do with politics per se, but for the purpose of getting a lot of these together in a collection, I kind of took that kind of approach, from a political perspective. Now, whether I would consider the thoughts that I'm putting together a new political wing, I don't know about that. There is definitely a unified direction that a lot of my ideas kind of go towards. They all have kind of like a thing in common, where efficiency is paramount, and investing money into developing technology that can make things more efficient, make everything more efficient. And the system's how we do that. The basic root philosophy behind this government structure that I'd like to see created is kind of a hybrid of elements of the left wing and elements of the right wing that I think complement each other in terms of how a government is run. Now, the basic idea is you can simulate all the effects that happen in the free market in a government body or a government system. All the practices that the free market have put in place in terms of incentivizing productivity improvements. You can have the administrators that run these programs and the civil servants that are in charge of running these programs that are supposed to, make people's lives better. You can incentivize them into improving the product and having it cost less and give the people a better value for the dollar, for their tax dollars. So that's a big element of it. And, I know people have said before, oh yeah, this is no new idea. Reagan had the idea of trying to run government like a business. Yes and no. The structure that Reagan put into place was more just a government that gives free rein to business, okay? It was more a government that instead of doing things internally, just farmed basically every process out to the private sector, what they could. And that's how their philosophy behind running the government as a business. My philosophy is different, very different. We maintain the government control and the government facilitation, the input, but we change the government itself so that how the government works and how people earn money within the government structure more reflects what happens in the free market. People that do well, and say if you're the Minister of Finance or whatever, and you put into place a bunch of practices that save a whole ton of money and improve everybody's user experience on transit, and for a minimal investment, or for a very reasonable investment, you'll be rewarded for that. You will see extra bonuses and money come to you for doing that. So the idea isn't to basically farm out all our processes to the private sector. The idea is to learn from the examples of what happens in the private sector and restructure the government so that we can have public services such as, public transportation and healthcare and education, and have them so that they're run to be as efficient as they possibly can be. Another big element is automation, because automation it's the game changer, and it's inevitable, and it's the thing that's going to happen. Okay. And right now, since it's not controlled, since there's no real plan behind it, it's the Wild West. Companies just replace people, and then that's it. Somebody loses their job, a company can make a product cheaper. Maybe the cost of that product goes down a little bit. Maybe the company makes a whole lot more money, and maybe somebody's unemployed. So we actually have to consider the future of this, because it's going to expand exponentially. Okay, as we start developing machines that can build themselves, this whole issue of needing a person to work in a factory, it's going to, or a lot of processes. I mean, even shipping now, and Google's introducing their driverless truck. I mean, there's all different numbers of ways. So we need to think of a plan and come up with a plan. Well, a lot of what I'm talking about is building a plan to address that inevitability, and also to build a structure where automation isn't a liability. The idea that automation should be a liability in our society it's mind-boggling. So a big part of this is developing a system where we can educate people, where we put money into building automation systems, but we also do it with the intention of distributing the benefits that come from these automated systems, in a very socially conscious way, because that's the big thing. And so put the money into education and infrastructure development, all the extra resource that is created from building a fully automated society. And the third big one is socializing the government process, and using social media-esque platforms to give people a voice, and have their opinions be actually heard. Build a social media platform where the government is not just benefited by reading the opinions of the most popular opinions of what people think, but they're actually required to take it seriously. And if somebody's comment or someone's concern gets overwhelming support on this platform, then it's a direct line to our leaders in the civil service to actually either give us a pretty good reason as to why it is the way it is, or look into changing it and making it better, especially if there's alternatives that are proposed. Like many of the ideas I'm about to propose right now are ideas which I think, given the opportunity to be exposed to public opinion, I think a lot of them would, have a lot of support behind them. So that's basically it. And now again, if you are watching this and you have any kind of critique at all of my ideas, if you see flaws in my ideas that maybe I have not talked about or not seen, because you know, a lot of these ideas, as far as I can tell, I came up with them. I've never heard them before. So the only perspective that's really chewed them apart has been my own. So I'd really love to have some other outside perspectives. So whether this ends up being just an outlet for me and just an outlet to put my ideas out there, or whether or not people hear my ideas and a movement forms around it, I think that would be great. Or even if it just, you know, even if I put one good idea in the head of one person that can do something about it, right? But either way, I'm glad that I'm doing this. Also, you know, if you have a comment, and if you have a genuine criticism of anything that I'm saying here, and you'd like to discuss it, send me a message. If you've got Skype, I'll go on a Skype and I'll have a Skype conversation and we can record it even. And if there's some interesting ideas that come out of it, I would happily put those, make a video of that and put that online as well. I'm very much a big proponent of community involvement in all different kinds of things. Now, if my channel blows up to, you know, hundreds of thousands of subscribers, well, yeah, obviously I can't have a chat with anybody that hears my point of view and has a point of view of their own that they'd like to contribute. I guess one of the cool things about this channel and the fact that it has no people, actually, in a weird way, it's kind of a silver lining that I don't have any followers and this is the first video I've ever made. Because now if you're one of the maybe 40 people that will probably see this video and you have something to say and you want to do a Skype chat about it, I'll make a video on it. I'll totally do that. So anyway, let me know what you think.